What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again with another update for you guys. And we have been waiting for some confirmed transfers. The latest we heard when I updated you earlier today was that Dier had just arrived in Germany for his medical. Dragusin completed his medical last night. So we were eagerly awaiting for the official announcements, but they are now ready to be seen. Joining me today to go through looking at the announcements that we've got today and all the deals and giving his opinion is we got Sai from I guess we'd say from Portsmouth Spurs. Should we say that? That's
yeah, why not?
Why not? But Sai, how you doing today, mate? How you right?
Yeah, good, mate. Thank you. Obviously, delighted with the announcement of another player coming in such a short space of time. So exactly what we talked about the last week. So yeah, very, very happy after this one.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a very, very positive start to the transfer window for Spurs, and for many reasons, not just transfers. But without further ado, let's take a look at the official announcement from the club as of 7 o'clock on the 11th of January. This is what the club posted. This is the announcement video for Radu Dragusin joining Tottenham Hotspur on a 6-year deal. Sorry, I believe it's a 5.5-year deal with an option of an extra year. 30 million euros, 25 million in cash with a 5 million with bonuses. Obviously, here is the official announcement there. We are delighted to announce the signing of Radu Dragusin from Serie A side Genoa, subject to international clearance and a work permit. Spurs also confirmed he will be wearing the number 6 shirt for Spurs, which is a classic centre-back number, obviously replacing Davinson Sanchez, who was the last wearer of that shirt. And they've released some classic memes. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z, you might enjoy this one. Radu Dragusin. He's also known as the Dragon, obviously for obvious reasons. I think the way he looks and also his name, but that's a brilliant meme there from Spurs. More pictures of him in the Tottenham shirt there. Really fits it, doesn't it? He suits that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Looks lovely there. And fully COYS, maybe stealing from Paul O'Keefe there, Spurs. But he is now fully COYS. There you go. The come on you Spurs, the classic. Get that from every player. And so, yeah, look, that is the announcement for Radu Dragusin. And obviously, this is a really important move for Tottenham, considering our lack of depth in centre-back. It's one we've been waiting for a long time. You know, we really wanted this one probably done in the summer, but we have got it over the line. And we've got it over the line in time for Man United on Sunday. And as well, him being 21, has good Serie A experience. Another one of the Paratici handbook as well. According to reports, Paratici had his eye on him for obviously he brought him for Juventus, but Spurs have had their eye on him for a number of years now, especially since Paratici's come to Tottenham. We've been looking at him. Apparently, according to the Athletic, Juventus are already regretting selling him to Genoa back in the summer. I think it was the summer they signed him permanently for only 4 million, and he's already on the move 6 months later. But in terms of your excitement of this deal, Sai, getting a centre back in, you know, we've been having to part with Emerson and Davis for the majority of the season because of injuries and suspensions to Romero and Van de Ven. So how much a relief is it for you to finally get that backup centre-back through the door?
Yeah, massive. I think you could pull it back a bit further than that, just from the instance of, we spoke about before, the last sort of 2 or 3 windows have been very critical. It's very hard, obviously, this time last year to kind of see what we were trying to achieve, how we were going to rebuild, and of course at that time we were talking about a different manager, so that's one thing. But to have a new manager come in the summer, obviously the targets have been something we're not being used to really. Like, we always tend to leave things quite late, and the last couple of windows have been really good business, good monetary values, great players. Granted, there's been 1 or 2 players coming in, including today, to be honest. Like, I don't know a giant amount of it, but the fact of the matter is there's obviously a lot of work in the background. The networking aspect's gone really well into fruition here. So for me, I'm over the moon in the sense that we've done it quickly. We obviously had the anticipation of players going away for the the African nations and also the Asian trophies as well. And Werner's come in, and then a couple of days later, this has happened now as well. So the Dragon's here now, and I'm there may be more. I mean, we're always going to be in that instance as fans to be like, yeah, well, who's next? Who's next? But if we went and rolled back a few weeks ago when we were all talking about this on that panel about the critical positions that we needed to achieve, centre back and a striker or that forward area was definitely two of them. So it kind of opens the door up to see like who else we could potentially or need to bring in. But equally, you also made a good point. There's no point just bringing anyone in. It has to be a strategic position. So in Werner's case, 6 months, there's no major risk to that. We've got a defender in who's 21. And the broad scale of our team right now, that age gap that was growing over the last few years is now diminished quite significantly. So the other thing to the side of that coin is getting, I wouldn't say rid of, I think that's a bit of a harsh word, because these players, irrespective of what we think of them, they have been massive servants for the club. But we've been getting rid of the so-called deadwood in a permanent fashion in most cases as well. So we can't complain at all. I mean, there's more to be done. You can't have it just done in 1 or 2 windows. You see how some of the other bigger teams are doing it over a 2-year period kind of minimum. But you can't complain about this. This is absolutely fantastic. We're going through all the lineup possibilities in, maybe not against United, but in a month's time, how strong and different our team is when we had all those meme photos in the summer of like, we still got like our players from 5-6 years ago. Now the only one left is Son. So there's a lot to take from this. I'm hopefully there will be a few more, because I think now we've lost a couple more. We need to bring in that depth. But I'm looking at the bench now, and it's kind of pretty much exciting to the sense that we've eradicated those older players, and we've got a team that you're quite excited for them to come on if they need to be. So I'm over the moon with this one. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and another player who's young, hungry, and adds to the maybe potential future of the squad. You're looking at now.
Yeah.
You got Sarr there, who's 20, 21. Udogie there, who's 20. You now add Dragusin there, who's just 21 years of age, and and obviously Van de Ven there, who's only 22. Really looking after the future of the team, I think, especially in the defense, and that's really, really encouraging. The only downside to Dragusin, I think, is his agent, because he's a bit of a blabbermouth. I feel like his agent, and again, he's actually come out and before this deal was announced, and he said he's delighted that he's joined Tottenham, but in 3 or 4 years he would love to join Madrid or Barcelona. And he was only at the beginning of his project, but he would love to join one of those big clubs one day. And it's like, come on, man, you're just signed for us. Like, you don't say this stuff like literally on the day that you're signing, and he just can't shut up, his agent. He's been a constant kind of live update stream since we've been linked with him. And and he said, what did he say after? He said after he rejected Bayern Munich, I can't believe we rejected Bayern Munich. He's like in shock. He's like, oh, they offered more money. I can't believe it. He's like, I'm just worried about what he's going to come out with while he's a player at Spurs. He just does seem a bit of a liability, doesn't he, the agent?
Yeah, it does. I think the thing we can take positively from this is the players' aspiration in their mind. Now, obviously, Bayern's a huge club, but I think the fact that there were offers on the table elsewhere, a club like Bayern is obviously a massive opportunity. I mean, he probably would have slotted straight in, to be honest, like he will probably do at Spurs. But the attitude of the agent is always going to be saying, how much more money can I make, this, that, and the other. A lot of the players don't always necessarily, other than saying, I'm happy with that team, get much say in the sort of finances aspects of it. So you can understand like where his excitement perhaps came from that aspect, whether it was a bigger salary or something. But the player, has, regardless of these opportunities elsewhere, has chosen Spurs, and I think that should be something that we really focus on, because this agent has been vocal, he has been open. There's no doubt in our minds, like, I hate to say it, but some of our players may move on in a few years' time, as they develop and progress. Hopefully, if we start winning stuff, it will be a completely different story. But it's an agent, isn't it? They're already trying to plant the seed for other things. I don't know who this agent is. I don't know how long he's been around for, but it's a bit of an immature kind of way of doing things. Maybe he'll learn from that, or clubs will maybe point him in the right direction of how you should behave.
I don't think
Who knows?
Levy will like it. I don't think Levy will like it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Levy
I
doesn't
mean,
like anything being public. He likes it all being kind of a bit secretive,
yeah,
behind closed doors kind of thing. He
exactly.
doesn't like all this information being public. But it's important to know in terms of Dragusin rejecting Bayern Munich. There's now a couple of confirmed reports. One from Ali Gold. I think Romano's confirmed it as well. That there's one report that said Bayern Munich offered him 75% higher salary than Tottenham, and Romano claimed that Bayern offered over double the salary that Spurs were offering. So a couple of reports there from reliable places saying that definitely he was offered a higher salary from Bayern Munich, and he decided to honour his original agreement with Tottenham and stick with that. And I think it goes to show his character. I think it goes to show a player who's thinking of his future of his career, not necessarily chasing the money and chasing the big clubs. You've seen it before, haven't you? A player at his age join a big club, and then they're not getting the game time, and all of a sudden they get loaned out. And you've seen it, at Spurs even. We signed a young player who always signed to be like, a bench player, and their career stagnates. So I think he's probably looking at Spurs thinking, I'm going to get more game time here. They're on a really good project with Postecoglou, the way they play. They're really going to help develop me. And as well, he's coming from a kind of system at Genoa where they're playing a counter-attacking system, less playing out from the back, three at the back system, playing on the counter. And when you go to a team like Bayern Munich, you're expected to be a ready-made player. Doesn't matter what age you are. If you're playing for Bayern, you're expected to almost be the finished article if you're going to be getting minutes there. And maybe he's looking at Tottenham, he's thinking, look, if I play under Postecoglou, he's really going to develop my game, my passing out the back. He's going to make me a better player, and I'm going to be a ready-made player in the future, whatever the future may hold. And that's a better bet for me rather than going to Bayern where they're probably thinking, look, you're not a ready-made player, so you're not going to be getting minutes.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think it's a credit to the scouting system to an extent. There's many fans out there probably know more about Dragusin than I do. I've know hardly anything, but the fact of the matter is we know as well that Ange has a big say in these transfers, or whether they're coming in or not, or whether they'll fit the system. And I think it does remind me a bit of the Pochettino era at the beginning, when they were trying to change the ethos of the club as a whole, the mentality and everything. But it feels even more different now. It feels like we're going to that feeling, but there's actually a bit of discipline. Maybe that comes from the maturity of Ange as a manager, maybe compared to Pochettino. I don't know. But it feels that way. And it feels like, we're not bringing these players in for a jolly. We've had many and enough years of all this. We had like 20 years of this nonsense. And it has turned a corner. I was speaking to our dear friend, Brian Daigle, and we were saying, like, there's got to be credit given. I have been on the back of ENIC for a long time, and where we had that transformation last year of Daniel going more the commercial end and going, right, we need football people here. It's made a huge difference, and these windows have been lucrative so far. Yes, again, hopefully more come in, and this summer coming will be hopefully a similar story as well. But back to the point really of this player coming in, you got the pull of the Premier League is absolutely massive. As a footballer, you want to be playing in that kind of stadium. The atmosphere that we have as Spurs fans, the way we're playing, is very exciting. It's one of those, like, if you're in a footballer's shoes and Bayern are knocking, of course it's going to be a massive distraction or an opportunity in your head. But it's very interesting to see that he has not only committed to his word, exactly as you just said, but that he has gone forward with the fact that he believes what he sees and hears. And that's credit to the whole entire system that Ange is building. And you look at players like Van de Ven, even with him, you see how he's playing. He would slot in any top team. And again, he was another player, and that might be my ignorance. I didn't know much about him either. And it goes to show that it's not always about, oh, we must go and buy this player, because we know the names. Actually, does the player fit the character of the club, the character of the team? Does he fit the style of play? And if you get those two, it's way better than us going, oh, there's a player that we know that we need to go and get for 80 million. Let's go and get them for 25 instead, knowing what kind of attitude and person they are. And that's the exact thing that we needed, because we carried so many players have come in, and now we're loaning them out left, right, and center because we can't get rid of them, or other opportunities to move them on in some other way. So it's absolute credit. I'm not going to say fully to Daniel, but there's absolute credit for the networking system, the scouting system. It's obviously being sanctioned by Daniel and ultimately by Ange as well. So it's really good feeling right now as a Spurs fan, finally, for a long, long time, that I actually feel for the first time properly, we're going in a proper direction, and we might actually get something, that's nice and silver that can go in a cabinet at some point in the near future. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see that. And just to touch on Daniel Levy, the agent of Dragusin did actually credit Daniel Levy with working very hard until the early hours of the morning yesterday to find an agreement after Bayern Munich did come back with a improved offer. And he said they were up till 3 in the morning, him and Johan Lange, getting that agreement done. So definitely has to get credit. And also, Postecoglou was very clear. He said before the window, he's like, look, January, we got a whole month in January. You got a whole month to sign players. Why waste that month? Why wait till the last minute of that month to sign a player?
Exactly.
And if you sign a player on deadline day, like we have, by the way, in pretty much every day, this is the first time a player signed in January set to make their debut in January for like over a decade, which is crazy when you think about that. But he said, Postecoglou, why waste that month? If you sign them at the beginning of the month, they have January to acclimatize. It's unlikely they're going to hit the ground running, so they get used to their teammates and the players and the way they're playing. And then by the end of January, hopefully they're going to be ready to play. Whereas you sign them on deadline day, the whole of February. First of all, you don't have them for January because they haven't been signed. Then the whole of February, they're getting settled in usually, and they get used to the club. And it's not even till like March time, that you're going to see the best out of them. And, all of a sudden the season's, a couple months away from ending. So I think they've definitely listened to Postecoglou on this one and on a couple of occasions on the two signings we made. And I'm really happy we've acted quickly, and it's not easy in this month to get deals done quickly. I do have sympathy with that. And you can see that now because you look at the rest of the Premier League, everyone's struggling to get signings through the door right now. And we've got two good signings in, or promising signings at least, that are going to help us immediately and improve the team. So really, really happy. But in terms of what you were saying about having players stuck at the club loaning out, part of this deal obviously was that Jed Spence is going to go on loan to Genoa for the remainder of the season. And here is confirmation of that. Genoa tweeting out, Jed Spence is a new player for Genoa. The English defender, born in London, arrives from Tottenham Hotspur on a temporary basis with an option to buy apparently around 10 million euros. And then it says, raised in the youth system, Spence played for Borough, Forest, Rennes, Leeds and Tottenham. He has 6 caps for the under-21s as well. And there's a few more pictures with Spence. We're going to wear the number 90 shirt for Genoa, and another picture of him there. So look, we all know that he's one of these players which doesn't have the right character, which is why he's being shipped out and why he keeps coming back to us, because no one seems to trust him, which is a real shame. But let's hope this loan deal can be a turning point for him. But we've said it a couple of times for him now, haven't we?
Yeah, that's it. I think there's a couple of names you could pick out of the hat over the years, not just at Tottenham but in the Premier League in general, where players have shown such promise and excitement and just not even necessarily reach the potential, just the attitude or whatever it might be, whether it was money situation or getting to the heads or the arrogance. I don't know. We don't know the exact ins and outs, but we get a picture, and certain managers come out with specific comments where you kind of read between the lines as to exactly what we're already thinking. At the end of the day, these guys are young, and I just hope that one day they shake themselves in their mind to realize they've got a massive opportunity that so many people would jump to the chance to have. And some people just bide their Premier League career or career in football in general and just take the money. But that's such a shame. You scroll back to the Jose time with Delhi and that conversation in that room. It was exactly that point. And I possibly thought that when Spence came back, I thought, okay, Ange's here, maybe something can happen. But it was evident that could that be disrupted to the team, the flow of the team? He's not quite fully progressed yet to be at the level of our wing backs at the moment, for example. So there's loads of criteria there as to why it was perhaps wanting to move it on more. And of course, that opportunity to do a swap, well, a temporary swap for this moment in time, was probably an opportunity that they couldn't afford to miss. And maybe just having that experience abroad might help as well. The maturity of that side of things also, and he might come back stronger. There's no doubt there's a talent there, but as our friend Gavin always says, you can have talent all day long, but if you can't have an attitude or play football or anything like this, to that level, then you're just a player that's good at tricks and things like this. You need to be much more than that to make it work. And against Warnock had these warnings out to everyone that he needs to make a decision of his pathway. So it's as I said, it's not just him. There's loads of players you can pick out, and some come back later on in their career, and it's great to see. So there's many players, many talents. You look at Ross Barkley, for example, like how he's turned his career around, and more and more players can hopefully follow that passion and that dedication to go, actually, no, I do want to make something out of this. I want to be in the Premier League. So let's see. I mean, it's not like we're going to miss him as such at the moment, but when we're talking about the future of the players and the development of these players that have been coming in, it'd be a terrible shame if he didn't, match up to the levels that we expect him to, and why we got him in the first place. So let's see how he does. Hopefully, we'll keep an eye on him at Genoa, and hopefully he turns the corner and maybe comes back a bit stronger in the summer.
Absolutely. Just to round off the section about Dragusin, our favorite agent has been talking again, and he has had more quotes to say about the deal. He said, talking about the transfer, he said, "We've been talking for 2 months with Tottenham. Bayern Munich showed up on the last day before leaving, and it is normal to think about it. The boy kept his word with Tottenham. Napoli was the most concrete club. Radu didn't want to go to another Italian team. He didn't even want to leave Genoa halfway through the season. He thought more about the Genoa fans than about his career. Milan did inquire. I spoke, but told them that we had already chosen Tottenham. We are happy with the choice. Radu keeps it when he gives his word, always." Again, displaying the character of Dragusin, and it's interesting to know that Tottenham have been chatting to him for a while. It's not something that it's clearly something we've been had in the pipeline in the view of getting this done early in January. So that's the thing I'm most delighted about. Apart from obviously getting a centre back in and a position we needed, we've actually come into this window, it seems, with a plan. An actual and we've executed that plan. You cast your mind back to last January, we're scrambling around for Danjuma, which Conte didn't want. Is we did it on deadline day or very late in the window. It was a position we didn't exactly need at the time as well, and it was after he'd agreed a deal already with Everton, and it just smacked of like, why are we doing this deal? It just seemed a bit pointless. It didn't seem like a strategic plan that we're executing. Whereas these deals definitely seem like we've come to this window knowing who we're going for, and we've really executed getting these players in and getting them in good time as well. So definitely seems to be an improvement when it comes to how we're going about our business, which is really, really positive. There is one more confirmed deal we are going to be talking about, and this is a long-standing player. I'm sure it's going to come no surprise, but I'll just bring it up as another confirmed deal which has happened tonight. And this is Eric Dier has joined Bayern Munich, according to Spurs, on a loan deal for the remainder of the season with an option to make the move permanent. Obviously, his deal does run out in 6 months, so apparently it must be something to do with FFP to get around, paying fees or whatever it is. According to Florian Plettenberg, the deal is it is actually a free, but if certain conditions are met, they will end up paying around 3 million euros. So apparently, and Bayern Munich confirmed that it was a a 6-month loan with an option of a 1-year extension as well in his contract. So I'm not really sure how it works, because a loan deal implies at the end of the loan, he's not no longer a Tottenham player, because he's only got 6 months left on his deal. So I don't understand what power Tottenham will then hold in 6 months to make Bayern Munich pay money, unless there's a clause in Dier's contract, which means we've extended it somehow, so that it's not over. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure of the ins and outs, but that is the confirmed deal. The Eric Dier as well. I guess we can watch a bit of this.
I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone associated with Tottenham, from all the staff at the training ground, at the stadium, within the community, the players, the coaching staff, all the managers that I've had along this way, the chairman, and everyone that is a part of the club, and then obviously my teammates throughout all my time here, the support that you've given me, the relationships that we've built. I couldn't have asked to be a part of a better dressing room for the last 9.5 years. It's been incredible to share that with you and share so many moments with you. And then obviously the fans, it's been a hell of a journey. The way I was received from the moment I came has been incredible. The one thing that always stood out to me was everywhere you go in the world, there seems to be so many Tottenham fans, and it always seemed to amaze me. So I just want to say a big thank you to all of you for the support that you have shown me. I hope you can experience great success with the club moving forward. I'll be watching and supporting and hoping for the same. And I hope to see you all soon. I'm extremely grateful, extremely grateful to have had these 9.5 years, and Tottenham has been a part of my life and my family's life for so long, and will forever hold a special place in my heart. So I just want to say a big thank you to everyone, and see you soon.
Yeah, lovely message there from Eric Dier. And let me also just bring up the confirmation on the Bayern Munich side. There you go, Dier. This is a dream come true for me, because as a kid, you want to play for a club like Bayern one day. Bayern is one of the biggest clubs in the world and has an incredible history. And then I think there's him holding up the Bayern shirt. Looks a bit weird with him in red, but obviously, we got used to it with Harry Kane as well. And then here's the promotional video they did for Dier.
Servus.
So there you go. There's Eric Dier confirmation. He is a Bayern Munich, even though obviously it does say a loan. Clearly, that goodbye video is clear for everyone that it's not a loan. It's a permanent. Well, he's not come back to Tottenham. Essentially, that's the short end of it. I do wish him all the best. Obviously, 9.5 years, as he said, is a very long time, especially in this day and age. It's very rare to have players stay as long as Eric Dier did at Spurs. And you got to remember, at the beginning of his career, what a fan favourite he was. Scoring on his debut against West Ham in the last minute. I remember that game against Man City when he scored. He scored from outside the box. He said after the game, people talk about all rival fans talk about Spursy and things like that, and we don't like it, and we're gonna make sure that everyone knows that we're no longer that. And he's always been one that has been up for a fight, always been one to protect his teammates on the pitch, and those kind of always showed passion. I do think that probably post, I would say, like 2018ish, I would say there was a bit of a turn. He had injuries. He had that. I can't remember exactly what it was. He had a very bad injury or problem, like a physical problem that kept him out for a while. And he was never quite the same player physically. He couldn't really get around the pitch the same amount. He was never really able to play midfield like after that injury, like he used to. But don't forget, under Conte, he was absolutely brilliant in that run for top four at centre back, and he had his good moments in the last few years. And I do absolutely wish him all the best, and I thank him for 9.5 years of service to the football club, and he's always given his all whenever he's been on the pitch. But I think it is when Bayern Munich come calling for him, it's a brilliant move for him. I think it's the right time for us as well, where we're moving in a different direction as a club. So I do wish him all the best, but it was a really nice message that from Dier, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think, everything you've said there is very spot on. I just can't believe it's been nearly 10 years. It feels like yesterday. But yeah, I mean, to go to a club like Bayern, I don't know whether it's pre-planned or whatever, but it seemed to come out of nowhere only like maybe a couple of weeks ago, if that. And to have that at a stage of his career after, let's be honest, a bit stagnant the last few seasons. Yeah, wow, what an opportunity for him. I'm sure like every Spurs fan wishes him like massive success. I certainly do. I've always been frustrated, and I think we've mentioned this kind of philosophy before, but I think the frustration from my side comes from the fact that we knew a Dier from before and always wanted that till the end, the day that he would ever leave or potentially leave. And I think that's the annoying thing, is when we see players decline and we don't always understand, as you said, like the background. I know there's like some other things going on with him over the last year or so that, you know, some people just don't comprehend or understand, like unless you're in those situations. So I totally kind of familiarized myself with what he was partially going through in some elements, but like, yeah, at the end of the day, you're sort of sitting there as a fan, as a football mind, that this isn't quite working out, and it's a shame for him that he didn't move on a few years ago, because there's always that bit of a trap in the mind that we're just getting frustrated with this situation now, and it shouldn't be that way, because he has been a great servant, exactly as you said, like irrespective of whether they're good or bad performances, he always tried. And he was always, you know, Tottenham badge was on his chest and it was within him. And I'm sure it always will be. So, you know, we can't take that away from him as a player and as a person, more importantly, at all. So, you know, massively wishing the best of luck. Yeah, at the end of the day, from our side, the business is brilliant. You know, the wages aspect is gone. So it's obviously helping towards some of the new signings. And yeah, it is definitely obviously a big goodbye there, just from the way the message was represented. It's not like, you know, good luck, see you in 6 months. It was more like, thanks, mate. We know you're going. You know, have a good time. Try and do something elsewhere. So yeah, it's kind of almost ticks the box. I don't really put Son in the same bracket because he's been with us for a long time as well, but equally he's evolved and adapts, and that's why he's such a world-class player. But I feel like with Dier gone now, bar maybe one or two still around, but maybe more in recent times, but he's one of the old era where I finally feel like now we're kind of chopping the book in half. It's like the next chapter, the proper next chapter, without any of the lingering pages stuck to that page. Sounds like a crazy metaphor or something, but that's how it feels now. It feels like, okay, finally, Spurs fans have been on about this sort of thing for a long, long time, and it's finally happened, and it's happened within like two and a half, maybe 3 windows. Sorry.
You just think of the leadership group for the last like 10 years. You know, Lloris, Kane, Dier.
Yeah,
that's it, and they're all gone.
Exactly. The old guard that perhaps had their own ways and opinions, and maybe that did reflect on some other team members at times, but now it's just a complete overhaul. You've got a leader in Son, which I think was an unbelievably amazing decision. At the time, I was questioning it, but now you've got this whole ethos around the team of just feels brand new. It feels new. It feels exciting. As I said, it feels like that Pochettino era, but something a bit more. It feels like it's actually glued together a bit more, and there's a lot more thought going into it. So it's been a really brilliant, you know, last few days. These signings come in, the players going out as well. I'm sure there's going to be more activity over these next few weeks, but yeah, we can't complain. We all want more, obviously, all the time. But, you know, we can't complain as to what has actually occurred in these 2 or 3 wins. It's absolutely phenomenal. And as you said, getting it done early as well. You know, we're going up to the United game on Sunday with the ability to potentially play these new players already. And, you know, in conjunction with some of these players coming back, which is very exciting. So looking forward to the rest of this week, see what happens. And then obviously the Old Trafford game on Sunday. So well done to everyone at Tottenham so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's hope we continue to have a good window. I think I've got a feeling, unless there's something that really happens with Højbjerg, which at the moment I'm skeptical about. I think this might be our incomings done, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure we've still got 20 days left of the window, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of movement. I think we've done really well with the outgoings as well. I wish Dier all the best at Bayern Munich. What a brilliant move that is for him, and a chance as well for him to hopefully win some trophies and see out his career with his friend Harry Kane, and really have. I'm sure he can do well there. I think in the Bundesliga it might suit him, playing in a team that are going to dominate possession. And who knows what the future holds for him? Who maybe he can have a bit of a renaissance, at the end of his career over at Bayern Munich. He's only 29. I talk about him like he's 35. He's only 29, so he's actually not that old. So best of luck. I really hope he smashes it over there at Bayern Munich. But look, on to the next with Spurs and Dragusin, and that's the next era for us. And I can't wait to see him in a Tottenham shirt, and I can't wait to see him performing. It's going to be really, really exciting. But look, Si, appreciate your time, mate. Appreciate your time on this Tottenham update.
Always.
Let me know in the comment section below anything we have discussed on today's Tottenham update. What do you think of all the confirmed deals? Are you excited? Does Spurs deserve credit? Does Spurs need to do more? I want to know your opinions in the comment section below. But that is all for today's Tottenham update. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.